Hi everybody, good afternoon. Just going to wait for a few more of you to join. I'll pop up the chat as well. So we do quite a few of these webinars and sessions. So for anybody that I haven't met or spoken to or seen on a webinar as yet, welcome. I'm going to leave the chat box up, so feel free to pop in there and say hello or chat and ask any questions that you've got, or ask if you want to see anything specific on the portal, because there's plenty to be seen and I'm happy to show as much or as little as you would like to see today. You should be able to see my screen now with the portal logo on it, so hopefully that's on everybody's view. If you can't see it for any reason, please do let me know. I'll make a start so that you know you're making the most of this session. It is being recorded because we upload these to YouTube so that we can use them for future content. So if there's anything you don't want to ask because it's being recorded, then feel free to drop me a note afterwards and I'll be more than happy to help or do a one-to-one demo with you if you'd like. So some background information, first of all, about me and the Office Management Portal. So my name is Hannah Gray and I have spent about 17 years now in the admin profession. I trained as a legal secretary when I was at college, and then I went on to work for a secretary for an estate agent as a branch secretary at home where I live in Essex. And soon into my career there, I was given all of the branch secretaries to manage at the age of 19, so 20 odd branch secretaries. And I spent most of my career doing PA management, office management roles. And then I really found my love when I had my first pure office management role with JP Morgan. I was involved in 170k fit out within the business, thrown on me with 2 weekends notice, and I'd never done anything like that before. And I moved from JP Morgan to RBS and then some smaller companies on a global scale as head of facilities or operations manager. And after all of that time moving around, I never stayed in any company for too long, sort of 3.5, 4 years is my record. I decided to set up a consultancy business to help office managers with their career, with their progression, with support, because you see so many HR professionals and consultancy firms and IT consultants and legal consultants and compliance and data and all, you know, there's loads of them, but there was never anybody to help us as an office manager. And I would see, as I went through my career, many of my predecessors not necessarily getting things wrong, but getting in a muddle or signing contracts, you know, for printers and coffee machines that were 5 years long, and the service was poor and there was no get out. There was like one day once every 5 years that they could terminate that contract. And it was all because there was nobody really internally or externally to support them and to provide that knowledge sharing. So I decided to set up the consultancy to do one-to-one training and almost be as an extension to offices and businesses. And then I, off the back of that, about 6 months into the business, set up this office management portal as a way of not using me as a consultant, but as kind of tapping into my brain and my little black book of contacts, and sharing templates and things, because I had so many clients and old contacts and people that I'd managed and trained saying to me, I've been promoted, I'm running the whole office now at this new company. What do I do? And it's like, there's quite a lot to share, so why don't I put it online and you can see. So that's the background about me. As I say, for anybody that's just joined, because a few of you have, do feel free to say hello in the chat. Be lovely to hear from you. So years in office management, a lack of support, as I said, and development tools and resources specifically for these office management roles. It really wasn't existing. So I started to look into it a bit more, and I found lots and lots of EA, PA, and now obviously VA networking sites and resources and press and magazines and things, and all of them have their place. It's not to discredit any of those, but I couldn't find anything specifically for people that had office management connected to their role or were in an outright office management position. So as I said earlier, old colleagues and contacts were asking me for help and templates. And I was like, I'm not giving you a free template. I'm running my business now. I'm going to have to create one and charge you for it. Although I did give some of them templates. So I decided to publish all of this knowledge and this a black book of contacts in the form of a portal. Initially, it was just going to go off the back of my website, which was called Black and White Office Consultancy at the time. We've changed recently to the Office Management Group. And black and white, you can probably see why I named it that. They're my favourite colour combination. If you ever see me in person, you'll probably see me wearing black and white, or mint and coral are my other favourite colours. So that's why. And yeah, I wanted it to be open to all and have even more resources than what I'd initially had as an idea in my head available to support these office management roles, not just in the UK, but actually around the world as well. So the first step that I took was to conduct a survey and assess the need in the market, because this was going to be a fairly big investment for me to do. So I did a survey, and around 100 people were surveyed, just over, in office management roles around the UK. Sorry, my dog's just coming in. She's just been dropped off from her walk, so you can see the door opening behind me. Yeah, and 88% of those 108 people, I think it was, we went to in about 2017, said that they were very interested in the portal. So I took the leap, and I got it developed. I got it designed and developed. So it's been out now since about early 2018. And we've created quite literally this virtual, much more virtual these days, and physical network for office management professionals. We've got over 1,200 members in it now, mostly in the UK and mostly again in London. So a lot of it is very London centric, but we're growing that as time goes on to be much more national and international. And it's full of tips and advice. And I'm going to show you the portal in a second so you can see it. Templates that you can download for things like office moves and relocations, health and safety policies. There's a COVID policy in there, of course, now. Join a lever tracking, housekeeping, benchmarking exercise. And I'll show you some of these templates so you can have a look at what they feel like. It's also got an online forum, and now actually a direct message feature as well. So you can speak to each other, and this is much more of the virtual network coming together. We also now have a Slack group because we wanted to have something much more instantaneous to be able to speak to one another. There's a partner directory. So this is that black book of contacts I was telling you about. I'm sure some of you have probably been in office management for some time as well. And you can imagine the amount, after 17 years of doing this, the amount of contacts that I've got. And certainly since I've built my business, which is almost 5 years old now, I have even more than I've ever had, because I've been networking and people contact me on LinkedIn and things. So it's a really trusted directory that a lot of our members find very useful. A jargon buster, some people have called it the Google for office managers. So all the acronyms that get thrown at us from all these experts, the engineers, the plumber, the the procurement guy that we go to who talks about the list, and all these different things that we have to sort of learn over time. And yeah, they're all in there and growing. Training and events calendars, for anything we think is useful, and again I'll show you all of this. And we also host networking events for our members. So in London at the moment only. We are looking at going up north to Manchester. We were going to do it last year, but COVID got in the way of that. And they're really good fun. We generally hold them every quarter on a Thursday night. About 100 odd people turn up, and it gets a bit boozy. So if you like that kind of thing, it's good. But if you don't, you don't have to drink. Of course, we provide all sorts of canapes and soft drinks and things. And they're just really good fun, and it's a nice way to connect with your peers. So the portal is a free resource. It's free to be a member. There is a premium feature as well to get the paid templates. They're the bits that really take up a lot of time to curate and update. So there's a payment for those, and there's a couple of options around that as well. So you can join for ease if you're not already a member. Hands up, who of you are already members? Let's have a quick look on the other screen. A couple of you are. Not many. Okay, good. And hopefully this will be useful for you as well, so you can see a little bit more about how to use it. So I'm going to flick my screen now over to the portal. See how many windows I've got open. And if any of you are interested in the office management course and you've heard about that, you'll see my windows are on that as well, because I'm currently creating the brochure for that. So when you go to the portal, you'll come to this sign up page here. We're just developing the front page at the moment to make it a little bit easier to see what's inside. There's a free version, as I say, and then the enhanced version, or what we're calling the light and premium versions going forward. So you can see what you get in there. You don't get some of the member webinars that are much more tutorial based for learning, but you get most of the webinars, particularly the ones we do with our partners, and you don't get the templates. And then there's also VIP access at a lot of our events as well. So the last one we did, there was the option of having cocktails, and you got extra goodies in your goodie bag, get discounts at things like the office management show that we're doing, and so on. So there's extra perks behind the scenes as well. So you can sign up here, get started, pop your details in the form. If you've done forms like this before, it should recognize your details, so it should save a bit of time. Click next and go through. There's only a couple more pages after this, and they're brief about security questions and things, and then you'll get a confirmation email and be able to log in. So you're going to see my screen, which is admin access. There's some buttons you won't see when you log in as a member, but the rest of them generally you will. So the idea behind it, when I was having it designed, was one of the briefs I said is I really want it to feel like you are in a portal. You're not in a typical website. So that's why the layout is like this. It's completely custom built. So there's a video here about how to use the portal. It's a bit out of date, so that will get updated at some point soon. Tips and advice in here. So this is the bit I was talking about in the first slides, where it's all sorts of useful advice, news updates, but also very random advice. So I'm going to bring up one that I always like to show. Toilets. So if you're anything like me in your office management role, at some point in your career, you may have to talk toilets. In terms of the number of toilets that you might need to have in your office, because there are welfare regulations in place here in the UK and in some countries around the world as well, about how many toilets you need to have per ratio of staff, and that breaks down as men and women and includes the wash basins or the sinks. So this, when I was dealing with this in my career, I don't know, about 8 years ago or so, I had a project where we bought another company, and we had to bring that company into our floor, and we had the capacity. From a fire regulation perspective, we were allowed to have that many people, but we didn't have enough toilets. So we had to build them on our floor and find the stack, if anyone knows what that is, and do all sorts of work, get the landlord's permission, because it was a big build. We had to go through other tenants' floors. But this at the time was the most useful table I could find to give me those ratios. So there's some really random useful stuff in here if it comes up in your career. So just like I did there, you can do a search, or what will happen is we add topics in. So you can see I added this yesterday because the HSE has officially, the Health and Safety Executive has officially published its results on COVID workplace related infections. Every time we add a new topic, you'll see it come up here. You'll get a little, like Facebook, LinkedIn notification pop up here. And when they're there, you can click to dismissal, or you can click on them and it'll take you to that particular topic or forum topic or whatever it might be. So they're all in there, just nice, easy, digestible updates and tips. This is the partner directory. So if you're looking for any service provider or supplier, like I say, most of them are down south at the moment, but there are a lot of national ones as well, particularly where it's things like IT support, cleaning, stationery, cars, chauffeurs, these kind of things. A lot of them are national. We don't have any international ones at the moment, I'm afraid, but happy to get recommendations. And this hopefully will become a much more global system over time. So yeah, so you can click on, let's have a look at Eco, because these are one of our new providers I love. So Eco products, so they do eco cleaning products. So if your cleaning company isn't doing anything about being sustainable at the moment, they've got chemical-free products that are refillable, so you can reuse the same bottles, all this kind of thing. So if you're big on sustainability or it's on your agenda to deal with, Eco Bravo can help out, and they're going to do a webinar for us on that soon. Pest control, there's all sorts in here. You can click and then you can go to their website and you can contact them, call them, see their brochure, whatever it might be from here. Okay, any questions at the moment? Okay. You can also do a search in here. So if I search for cleaning in London, for example, it will show our partners here. We have a maximum of 3 generally per category. So these 3 here are mainly cleaning companies, and then this one specifically does window cleaning, internal and external. And these do cleaning products, actually, I should say. So we have sort of 3 in each area because we recommend that you tender to 3, particularly when there's a big service reliance or a big cost involved. It's good to speak to 2 or 3 as a minimum. They're our partners. This is the forum, so this is the most interactive part of the portal that you'll probably feel and see a little bit of. You will, when you sign up, get email notifications, but if you don't want those on, you can pop into your account here, edit your details, and you'll be able to, I can't do it because I'm an admin, I don't apparently have the access, but anyway, in your account here, there'll be a button that says toggle notifications or something, and you can tick which ones you get notified about. If you're struggling, just let me know and I can help out there. It's a very old picture of me, pre-COVID roots. That's why I'm hiding my roots off camera. Okay, so yeah, so the forum's a really cool thing. You can search in here as well. So there was something on mobile phones recently. So you can see what other people have said about policies and so on, and respond to them even, you know, much later down the line. If there's a particular topic, i.e. one that you've raised or that someone else has and you want to keep an eye on it, just tick this little box here and you'll get an email saying that there's an update to that topic and you can go in. And at any point when you don't want those notifications anymore, you can tick and it will stop. You can reply to people. You can also now send a direct message. So you can say, hey, you know, I'm really interested in this, or can you give me some further information, or whatever it might be. As yet, you can only do links. You can't send attachments or anything else in those messages. The templates, I'm going to skip and come back to that because this is the one we spend a little bit more time on usually. This is the events and training calendar. So normally lots of in-person events in here, but at the moment they're mostly virtual. So we put our own events in here, the webinars, the demo that we're doing. We've got an Escape Live tonight with Escape Room Live or Escape Events. I should really market them better than that, but yeah, so we do have member only events and it's going to be really fun, this one. It's a rogue agent escape rooms, and then again our in-person events are going to be in here. We've got the office management show at the end of the month, so you can register and just look through anything that might be of interest, and you can register from here. If you want to add an event, you see something or you hear about something and we haven't got it in here, you can click that to request to add. Or if your company is running an event that you think might be useful for our members, you're welcome to ask to add it in, because for us, the more that we can bring to the table for you guys as resources and as ways to connect and network, the better. And then lastly, the jargon buster, so the Google for Office Managers with all sorts of acronyms in here, yeah, to help in your role. Core and non-core, they were the words I was looking for earlier when it comes to stationery, for example. And then there's a contact button, so anything you need at any point, you can give us a shout. I need to update that phone number because that's gone now. So templates, if anybody's got any requests to see anything specific as I go through here, do shout, because often we get requests, but I'll show you some useful ones I think are useful in here. So to get the document templates, as I said, you'll either need to buy them on a pay-as-you-go basis. So this one, for example, is an office move template and it's £10. Some of them are £2, some of them are 25. I think that's probably the most expensive one we've got, which are more things like self-audits for health and safety, and I'll show you those as well. So an office inventory list, let's have a look at this one. So if you've got access, you tick and download. It's going to just pop up onto my other window. I'm going to drag it across now. Okay. So if, for example, you're moving offices, this is really useful to show what you might want to take with you in terms of furniture and what you might not want to. So we often have a lot of data in here that you can use, like the data validation tab, and you can add to. We also have, not in all of them, because I add templates and then my assistants normally update with the Google links, but with a lot of them, there's a Google Sheets access as well for anybody that uses Google. Then that should be in there for ease for you. That's a really simple one. And then looking on something a little bit more complex, let's use the master planner. So if you are moving offices, and even if this isn't a full-blown relocation, if you are just doing a move internally and you're creating swing space and there's several phases to your project, this could be useful for you. So this has got all sorts of stats and links on it to show progress of your project list. These are the specific actions. And then there's phases in here. So it might be that, you know, you're just doing a fit out. So you could come in and customize this to make it all just the fit out stuff that you need to consider. But if it is a full-blown relocation, then yeah, this will be the most useful to you to have sourcing and sorting the office, dealing with the move itself, the legal stuff, the fit out, and the dilapidation. So putting your existing office back if you need to do that and you've got an obligation to do that. We often do things so that it's formatted, conditional formatting with colours to make it much easier. So when it's complete, it goes green and so on. And due dates and things will go red once they've passed the existing day. So yeah, there's all sorts in there to help. I mean, there's like 100 odd rows in here of things. And you might come in and go, no, that's irrelevant because I don't deal with that or don't need to do it. And you can just delete them. But we've tried to bring in as much as possible so you don't have to do too much work and thinking on it, and everything's kind of presented and made much easier for you. Yeah, there's summary charts and all sorts in here about the progress, so you can wrap that up nicely and present it to your manager if you need to. Office move welcome pack. So again, if you're doing an office move, hence this whole section on office moves, then this could be easy for you to adapt as well. So a lot of our members who have access to this, and most of our paying members stay in. Once they're in for years and years and years because they really like it. So we've got a lot of members who are on their 3rd year of membership now, and they call it a really good starting point for everything they have to do, because it saves them time searching and it gets them, you know, 2, 3, 4 hours ahead sometimes in terms of what they need to do with a piece of work or a document. So this is a welcome pack for when you've moved offices, which you can also turn into a welcome pack for new starters if you wanted to, which I know some members have done. I think we've got a welcome pack. Okay, let's go into general office management. Oh, this was about the office management awards, so we put them in there to help people. But holiday trackers, lease summary, new joiner welcome pack. There we go. Let's open this one up. So this one's designed to be in training for your members, for your staff. So you might adopt this to be a printable version, or you might actually do it on screen. And there are some training ones as well. With a lot of the templates we have comments in here. Some of them will be about how to use the template or suggestions of things you might want to consider when editing the template, or just ideas of how to use it. So there's all sorts of useful, hopefully useful bits in there as well. But yeah, you could do this as a printable pack, or if you want to and you're comfortable doing so, and I would recommend it if you can, is do an in-screen presentation and introduce yourself. So yeah, some DSE training and bits and pieces there. There is a full-blown presentation somewhere as well for facilities. I think it's called induction training. Health and safety, this is one of the biggest areas that we've got in the portal, particularly here in the UK, because we're so health and safety mad. And you can see, like, there's a policy statement, an emergency evacuation plan. You can just about make out the previews of how these look as well. You can click here to pop it up. They're blurred out intentionally. Evacuation plan guide. This is like a flow chart of things you might want to consider. I am looking for the health and safety induction and the, let's do, so we've got like the coronavirus action plan policy. Let's open this one. Show you. Is this useful so far, everyone? Is this giving you a good idea of what the portal's like? You can raise your hand or pop yes in the chat or no. Okay. Yeah, so this is the action plan. So this is something that you may send out to your staff to give them an idea of your policies in relation to coronavirus, or it might be more like an internal thing, so just for your team on what you've done. This one is, I think, designed more to be sent out to employees, so it's your responsibility, our responsibility. So yeah, so you can edit that one. Then we've got, I want to show you the gap analysis, because this is one of our most popular templates for health and safety. Who's responsible for health and safety? Pop your hand, raise your hand if you're responsible for that in your office. Yeah, few of you are. Yeah, and like me, when I was starting out, who didn't have a clue about what to actually do? Even though I had an IOSH, it still didn't really apply to my role and what I actually needed to do in terms of, okay, I need to get the emergency lights tested once a month in what's called a flick test, and a 3-hour drain down each year, and all these kind of things. So as I learn over time, I put together this self-assessment. Oh, you can see the webinars that have come up in there as well that we do. So those ones were the ones available for paying members. So I do this in person for my consultancy, so people can ask me to come in and do it with them, or you can do it on your own or do it with one of our webinars and go through. You can watch the playback or wait till we do another live one again in the future. But basically go through this list and go, right, okay, yes, I'm doing this. No, I'm not. And it will start to create this action list for you. So you can see all the reds and then you can say, need to speak to HR, read this or whatever. And it will really start to help. And if the HSE ever came knocking, you've got this to show that you're actually there and you're conscious that there's things you need to do, even if you haven't quite done them. It's far better than saying, didn't know we had to do that. So it's a really good audit and self-assessment, going into different sections about induction training, stress and well-being, fire safety is the last section here as well. Okay. And then most of the things that are referred to in there in terms of policies and risk assessments, you'll then be able to find in the portal to use. Procurement, I'm going to show you this one because I do quite like, I'm such a geek for things like this, but I do really like this kind of stuff. So stationery, when you have to procure stationery or do a bit of a review, which I recommend doing sort of every 2 years or so, and making sure that your costs haven't gone up and you're still in line with market and things. I mean, stationery is not really going to be used too much in the future if you're doing this hybrid model, but it's still going to be needed. You can do this, so you can get your order summary of currently what you've ordered, perhaps in a snapshot in time or a year's worth of orders from your existing supplier invoices, and then pop their pricing in here for you know, all of the items you tend to order or everything you order regularly or whatever you might decide. And then you start to gather and get, so you would send this excerpt with just the items in and no costs to your new suppliers that you invite to benchmark or tender. And then when they've sent it back, you then populate this template. And it looks really like, but the idea is that these are your items that you're tendering, and your current pack size is what you're currently being supplied in from your existing supplier. And then your new pack size, because sometimes they vary from supplier to supplier, you put in here what a standard order set is, because you know, like sometimes they charge and say, yeah, like a battery, it's literally 1 pack of batteries and whatever it might be. Your current cost per item, and then your new supplier that you're benchmarking with, their cost. And what this starts to do is basically break it down to a unit price. So if it's coffee, for example, and you say there's 500 grams of coffee, it will break it down to each gram of coffee's price. And there's a reason for that, because if one of them sells it, like this name badge example, in a pack of 50 and the other one sells it in a pack of 55, you want to be able to compare apples for apples, like for like, to see, okay, well, I'm getting more and I can see that it's less money, but I want to see exactly how much and make them like for like. So we've done the formula, so it breaks it down to the unit price, and then it times it back by your existing pack quantity to make sure it's apples for apples. So if you were buying 50 at that unit price, it would cost you £12.27 versus your current supplier's cost of £15.99, thus saving £3.72. Does that make sense, everybody? I know this one's confusing, but I do love it. Such an office management geek here. Yeah, so it's things like that that really take the time out of it, and you just have to work into to finishing it and speaking to people, which is still a lot of work. Okay, and there's all sorts in here like printers, mobile phones, insurance, coffee machines, cleaning companies, etc., etc. And all of these grow. These aren't the templates and that's it forevermore. We add them in every month. BCP, there's a BCP policy, business impact analysis template. So anybody that's responsible for that or hasn't got that in their company and knows they need it, you can be proactive and put that out there. There's budgets. This one's quite a new section. I'll show you this budget template as probably the last one to do. Are there any templates or any questions anybody wants me to go through on templates or any of the portal whilst this is loading? Hopefully that's been useful. Yeah, so this is a template. It's one of the best budget templates I think I've ever used in my career, where it shows you staff headcount, and it's not talking about their salaries here, but just the headcount, because often, particularly when you get to a slightly bigger sort of mid to large corporate size company, you start to have a budget of headcount, a number of heads that you can have in your department. So if you become a manager and you've got, 7 heads in your team, maybe a couple of receptionists, a PA for your team, and then some office juniors, you'll be able to see your headcount in there. And employee costs, so there might be salaries in here as well if you want to. Subscription services, so the portal, for example, if you subscribe to that, might be up in here as a cost. Your business should pay for it because there's huge benefit to your business from you having this. You get upskilled, but they get all this, hopefully expert, I'm biased, but hopefully expert support and time saving here for you. IT, travel and entertainment, and so on. And it all links back to this global summary page, and it starts to give you a picture of your run rate. So a run rate, if you haven't heard that term before, is an average of how your spend is looking, even if you're only 2 months into your financial year. As an average, if you were to continue spending in that fashion, where you might end up at the end of your financial year, and therefore versus your budget. So it's a really good way of staying on track. And again, you can see there's instructions in all of these sorts of things. Okay, I think that's probably it. We've got like member discount areas, like here you can see it in the portal webinars in here. Some of them are free and some of them are payable, so you won't be able to watch this one, for example, unless you're a paying member or you buy it on a pay-as-you-go. I think this might be available, yeah, £10 if you want to watch the Office Move one. And that is it. Are there any questions at all on the portal, on any more template examples or anything else? Okay, perfect. I shall let you go. It's so weird doing a webinar because you don't really get any feedback. So but hopefully that's been helpful, and you know where I am. I'll put my email in here actually for everybody. If it would help if I spelled it correctly. If you do have any questions at all, feel free to get in touch with me. And as I say, I'm happy to do one-to-one demos if you want anything like that. But I would say if it's of interest to you, sign up. It's free. Have a play with it. And if you're interested in the paid version, I do have, it's not online at the moment, but I do have a template you can use to ask your business to pay. So if you want that, do reach out to me. But I would definitely get them to fund it for you if you can. And there's a few options with it. We also have a lifetime membership access coming soon if anyone's interested in that. Yeah, that's it. Lovely to see you all, and I hope to see you in the portal very soon. Take care. Pleasure. You're welcome. Bye, everybody.